Hey, everybody, it's David Rains, host of All Access Chat, and super happy to have you here. We're bringing you our latest episode today. You're not going to want to miss this one. This is an All Access Chat behind the scenes in a way you've never seen before. And if you like what you see here, make sure you hit your subscribe button, turn on your bell notifications, because we got lots more content coming your way, and you don't want to miss out on a single episode. If you like what you see as well, share it with your friend, because I'm sure you have friends who would be interested in seeing the content that you enjoy as well. Don't forget as well, in the link to the video, there is all kinds of links to our guest social media accounts. So you're not going to want to miss that, and you're going to want to follow them as well. They'll be happy to have you, as we are. Thanks very much. Now let's get right to the episode. We are blessed to be joined by a very special musician and someone that is no stranger to you if you are a fan of Canadian Idol. He's taken a bit of a hiatus, but he's back with some new music, and boy, is it amazing. You're in for a treat. I'm, of course, talking about Mr. Gary Beales. Welcome to the show, Gary.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. It's great to be on the show.
That's awesome. And how's things going? The pandemic has thrown a wrench into many musicians' plans, but what have you been up to lately?
Indeed, it has. Gosh, my album was supposed to come out back in March, and then June, and then August, and then it happened in October. But yeah, no, I've just been promoting the album and just doing some writing here and there, taking some time just to spend with myself, so just relax. And then just creating some content. I'm also working on some new material for another album. So yeah, that's kind of what I've been up to.
Well, I got to get to the question that everybody's dying to know.
All right.
How does a guy from Cherry Brook, Nova Scotia end up on Canadian Idol?
Oh, I know. Right? I just auditioned. That's what I did. It was I was a big fan of American Idol. It was the first season that had ended, and I found out Canadian Idol was coming to Canada, and they were coming to Halifax, and this young boy from Cherry Brook, Nova Scotia decided to go with his few friends to audition, and the rest is kind of history.
Awesome. Well, can you take us through that experience? Biggest highlight, biggest low light, maybe as you went through the Canadian Idol experience?
Oh gosh, the biggest highlight. Performing on a national stage and performing in front of, not in front of millions of people, but across the country, I guess, on television. And just the ability that kind of skyrocketed my career in terms of me performing professionally. So I went from performing locally around my community and within the province of Nova Scotia to performing nationally. So that was a good thing. I guess it was also an overwhelming time for me at the same time, going from performing locally to internationally and nationally. So there was a lot that I didn't know. So just trying to maneuver about and learn the different aspects of the music industry.
And how has that kind of helped you shape who you are today as an artist? Did it play a big part in it, or just kind of was it a step along the way?
Yeah, I had to learn quickly. So it shaped me because it was like an overnight transition. So I had to, hop in the game and pull up my socks and just kind of fake it till I make it sort of thing. Okay. Lots of trial and error, but I'm still standing. I'm still doing music. I'm still passionate about it. If anything, I'm more passionate about music now.
Who have been some of your biggest influences along the way, musically and in general in life?
Musically, so many different artists. I grew up listening to like soul classic artists. So like Otis Redding is a favorite of mine, John Legend, Earth, Wind and Fire, Sam Smith, on the new record, like Daniel Caesar, Anderson .Paak. Just so many different artists. And then just, my family has been a major support, my community, the East Coast, the province of Nova Scotia. Just the support that people have given me has been tremendous. So I'm grateful for that.
Over the years, you've been nominated for some pretty impressive awards. East Coast Music Awards kind of go without saying. From the East Coast, you better get nominated for one of those.
although I missed the deadline this year, so I'm like, but yes.
Well, new music coming out, so next year we'll make
that is true.
Take us through though what it's like for you to get that the call that you've been nominated for a Juno. I mean, Canada's biggest award, so take us through that.
Yeah, just that feeling. Yeah, I guess to be recognized by your peers on that to the musical level. It's a feeling of just of joy. Of yeah, I mean, it was amazing when I found out that I was nominated for a Juno. It's just like yeah, it's kind of like that feeling like I made it, sort of thing. But I was just grateful for that honor, grateful for the nomination.
Awesome.
So we'll see what 2021 is kind of gives to me. For hopefully I'll get a Juno nomination, maybe a Juno win. Who knows?
That'd be great, wouldn't it? That'd be awesome. So
Indeed.
2020, let's talk a little bit about that. You were on a roll. Your album was ready to come out early in the year, and then of course we get hit like everybody else with this crazy pandemic worldwide, and things get pushed back. What have you been up to over the course of the pandemic?
So I mean, I'm currently in Toronto, so I'm living in Toronto. So we've been on lockdown, then not on lockdown, back into lockdown. But yeah, just kind of laying low. But also, I've been very busy the last couple of months with just finding ways to just promote my album, get it out there, and connect with supporters, with fans, with different creatives for future projects. And I've been doing some songwriting virtually as well. And yeah, just getting out there as much as possible, working on some content to, just to release through the socials, doing some virtual performances. So it's been a wonderful journey. 2020, it's definitely came in with a bang, but I'm still hanging in there. Every now and then I say, throw me some life jackets. Thank God for those life jackets, because that's been keeping me afloat.
So, obviously new album out there. It's a little bit different. You've got to approach things a little bit differently than you might normally do in terms of promotion. How have you changed and adapted through this process with that?
Oh gosh, I have changed and adapted. I had to, because my last album came out in 2009. So the industry was totally different then. There was physical CDs. You're going into actual stores and buying music. Now it has transitioned to, streaming and getting on playlists and, all of that jazz. So I'm still trying to, figure out how things are in this new world of the music industry. But I think I'm doing pretty good. I've been surrounded around some very good people within the industry who are knowledgeable about what the industry is like now. So that's been a good thing.
Let's talk a little bit about Bleed My Truth. It looks like a pretty raw look into the world of Gary Beales. Tell me a little bit about what went into putting this album together and what it means to you as an artist to see it come full circle.
Oh, well, I'm extremely proud of the body of work that has been, that's been Bleed My Truth. Gosh, this album came about just me being in a period of, I guess, the break that I took, the hiatus away from music, and just really discovering parts of myself, rediscovering parts of myself, just tapping into what it is that I, Gary, want to do with my life, and just finding a new, finding new purpose and just a new love for music. And then, I kind of just, I was desiring to find a producer that I really clicked with, where synergy, or musically, the synergy was there, and it happened organically. And so Miles, or Loesch, I should say, he's the producer for this album. We put together a great creative team, and we wrote, and everything just happened organically, and I just expressed myself in a very authentic way. And that's what you get with Bleed My Truth. It's, digging deep. It's many different emotions that you'll experience or feel throughout the album when you listen to it. It really is me bleeding my truth. That's why the album is Bleed My Truth. Can
you take us into kind of what a typical writing session would look like for you? I think, as fans, we kind of hear the music come out and we just think, oh yeah, well, that, you stepped up to a microphone and you did your thing. Can you tell us about how the writing process goes, and what does that typically look like for you?
Yeah, for this album, it actually the first time meeting up with Loesch, the producer for the album, was my first time meeting with him. So it felt almost like, going into a blind date sort of thing. But we had a bassist guitarist on hand who was a part of the session, and then another songwriter, Terrell Morris, who's a hip hop artist. So it was the four of us that was pretty much the core of the creative team. And basically, how we worked it, we would just come in and we would chat, talk. They would get a sense of how I'm feeling, what I wanted to write about, and then we would start like maybe just Stephen would play on the guitar, and then kind of like freestyle, go into the booth and see what comes out of that, and then just kind of build from there. So that's kind of how our sessions kind of worked. I also had an idea as to kind of the different vibes musically that I wanted on the album. So I expressed that to Loesch, the producer. And like I said, it's just us being in the room, just vibing and just really coming from an authentic place. And it really did happen organically, where we went from one song, and then the next day we came in, we had written another song. Then the next day we came in up to day 5. And then when we got to day 5, it was kind of when we kind of got stuck. It was almost like, it was like, okay, well, maybe we need to take a break. So we took a few days off, and then we came back at it again and just pretty much finished up the album.
No, that's great. Thanks for that. That's it's always interesting to hear what goes into those writing sessions.
Yeah. There was a lot of writer's block that happened, like I said, midway through, and it was weird because it was so exciting, because we were going 1 song, 2 songs, 3 songs, 4 songs, 5 songs, and then it was just like this writer's block, and it's just like, okay, well, what's going on here? And so Loesch, he said, well, maybe you need to get out and just find some more inspiration, go check some live shows. I did that, came back. I also met up with a few other writers, and we collabed on the latter tunes on the record. So it was good to kind of, it's important to sometimes step back if you need to. Mm-hmm. And so that was a lesson that was learned.
And the last song you wrote for the album, Blood Red Roses, I understand that one has a bit of a special meaning to you. Can you tell us about that and that song, how it all came about?
Yeah, so Blood Red Roses was inspired by my trip to South Africa. The overall album was inspired by my trip to Hawaii. So, travel has been a major inspiration for this album. But yeah, Blood Red Roses itself was inspired by my trip to South Africa. I went with a group of friends in 2019, so last year. And it was my first time being in Africa. And it was just amazing to connect just with that land and, kind of where my ancestors derived from, and just that sense of belonging. And then just the interactions amongst the people, to see people of color, Black people, and like I said, the interactions between them. Also the diversity as well. We went to this Latin spot. It was a day party, and it was beautiful to see the diversity with not just race, but with age, with sexuality. And I had got emotional at one point after we were about to leave. And it was just the beauty of being in that space and not feeling any type of judgment, but whoever we were, we could show up as ourselves. So it was just beautiful to be in that space. And so Blood Red Roses, it's, about celebration. It's about basking in the moment. It's about, just enjoying who it is that you're around. So that's where the inspiration came on
awesome.
that.
Obviously, the pandemic has put a little kibosh on your travel plans, but where's the first place? Where's the first place you're traveling to once things happen?
Oh my goodness, it's been so long. I don't even think about travel anymore because I'm just like, when are we going to get out of this state? But that's a good question. Where do I want to travel to? I don't even. Wow. Yeah, I don't know. Okay. I really want to get on the road and perform. I really miss performing with a band, with musicians. I miss just that connection with the audience. So for me, I would say that's the first thing that I want to do. I mean, I would love a little vacation, but I feel like I've had a staycation for the last 9 months. So I really just want to get on the road and do some music and perform and just get out there and share.
Do you think that the pandemic has changed the way that that the audience is going to receive music There's been a lot of work around online concerts and that type of thing. Do you think that that's kind of here to stay, or do you think that's just kind of a make do project until things get back to normal?
Yeah, I think it is a make do project. I would only hope, because I'm not a fan of the virtual performing. I'm an energy person, so to be able to connect with the audience, to be in the same space is beautiful, because you just gravitate, or you pull from the energy from the audience.
Mm-hmm.
And I think people will have a deeper appreciation for music and live music, having to, being in the house and consumed within ourselves for so long. I think, people will really have a deeper appreciation, and they'll enjoy it more. And the hope is that we'll be back to normal, but we'll be back to normal in a much better way.
No, I think that's great. And I think you're absolutely right. I think this has caused many of us to kind of step back and kind of reevaluate what's important to us.
Yes.
And I think that'll change the world, I think. And
because even conversations with my friends, or just different conversations with people, I feel like we have elevated to, just a higher level of thinking and a higher level of appreciation. Mm-hmm. So I'm excited to see what's going to happen when we all get to mingle again.
One of these days it'll be nice,
right?
For sure. So, well, Gary, listen, I really appreciate you taking the time to chat with us about the new album. Best of luck with that. Hopefully it's a huge success for you. Be looking for you at the Junos next year for sure.
Yeah,
and the new music that you've got in the works, hopefully it is a huge success as well. Welcome back. It's been 11 years, but it's like no time has gone by at all, I don't think, from where you were. So
yeah, it feels good. So I appreciate that. Thank you so much for the time and for chatting.